OMG, everyone, we're back. Welcome to Stating the Obvious, Pranay. There's a different intro for you. Crazy.
Interesting. That was quite different.
It was
I did not
pretty
expect
different.
that at all.
You didn't. No one was prepared for it. Not even I was prepared for it. I just made it up. But with that, we're going into the episode. All right, Pranay, what's the obvious fact? Tell me now.
Okay, the obvious fact. It's a good coming later, but you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. So related to my Valentine's Day gift is origami, and I never realized it's so satisfying and just to fold paper, these satisfying little shapes make these satisfying folds.
You fucked it up, Renee. You were supposed to let the audience know it's the Valentine's Day episode first.
Well, it is. So surprise, surprise.
Oh my god.
It's the Valentine's Day episode. Woo! Okay. God. We're glad you like origami, Pranay.
Yeah.
But now, let's see what Noah's feeling. Noah, how are the obvious facts coming along?
Well, I was gonna say something about Valentine's Day, but I couldn't really think of anything, so I'll just say this. The English have a very broad definition of what constitutes a pudding. Like, you have, like, regular pudding, right? But then you have, like, black pudding, which is made out of blood, which, gross. And then you have Yorkshire puddings, which are, like, bread. Like, what the fuck is a pudding?
Honestly?
Yeah, I remember hearing something about the Yorkshire puddings, like how when Americans go over to England, like, they're all just so surprised by it.
Yeah, like, I was looking at, like, recipes because I was like, man, Yorkshire pudding, that just sounds delicious, like Yorkshire pudding. I wonder what it is. And I look at it, it's a pastry. It's a Yorkshire pastry. What the fuck, England?
Is there anything, like, pudding-like about it?
No, it's a fucking pastry. You bake it in a muffin tin. It's made of, like, flour, butter, water, and salt. Like, you it's not a pudding. I don't know why they would call it a pudding.
Well, that's why you have crisps and you have chips and you have...
Yeah, I don't know.
all of that.
These are the reasons that Jit does not like England.
Yeah.
They're so stupid.
I'm just glad that our founding fathers fought the British for our right to not have to call those fucking, like, pastry things puddings. Fucking dumb.
Yeah. Noah, that was honestly a very good obvious fact. I feel like Noah always comes in with the high level obvious facts.
Yeah.
The ones that you truly are like, wow, that was actually kind of obvious, but I never consciously thought about it. That's some good work, Noah. I'm not
thank
gonna
you. I do make an effort.
Yes, he does.
I do like Noah's obvious facts.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, they're really good. Cobb, let's see if you're up to par. Do you have a good obvious fact for us?
See, Noah's obvious facts are always like on par, thematic, obvious. Mine are always related to current events and what's happening right now. So my obvious fact is too much sugar is a really bad thing.
Is it really that bad?
You tell me, Jed.
I don't know.
like other than just like some mild discomfort and like a slight headache, like
Like, tell me, Cobb, what are the side effects of too much sugar intake?
Depends if you're gonna do it like a lot of times or just once.
All right, well...
Yeah, but what if you have it once, but you just have a shit ton?
Yeah, I mean, from the sound of it, Viscera went full American, so I think you need to tell us what's
don't
going to
act
happen
like
to
y'all
him.
haven't done this either. Don't act. I remember.
I know.
Do you remember? I remember.
I do remember.
Please tell us.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What are you alluding to, Viscera?
I believe it was in a previous episode of Stating the Goddamn Obvious, but you two, Noah, Pranay, the geniuses that you guys are, starting to remember now? Ratioed out here.
Very nice, Jim.
I'm just going to say, the word Pizookie is dead to me.
I was like, look, guys, there's this Pizookie. You can order it. It's massive. It's meant for like parties of like 8+.
Okay, why would you bring it up?
It's a thing. I brought it up. I was just telling you guys about it because we're at the restaurant. We're looking at Pizookies. I was like, oh, it's fun fact. Fun fact. Yeah, fun fact. No, it was like, I'm going to see this fun fact.
Look, you can't just like put that out there. and like not expect like you.
I told
just
you it was a bad
challenged us.
idea.
He
Dude,
challenged us,
look,
and we just had
it's-
to.
We
accept.
had already had dinner.
Right,
Like if we
on-
hadn't
It's
had
an
dinner.
implicit
It was our
challenge, Viswa.
honor.
You
On our
can't.
honor,
You can't
we
do
had
it.
to.
Like you.
Yeah, there is in no world that this is my fault,
You
bro.
literally planted
What?
a tree. You're like, don't
No,
take a
it's
bite
like
of this
me telling like,
apple.
oh, you know, like there are people like you if you wanted to, you could go murder someone, and you going murdering someone, and then that being my fault.
I mean, like,
what?
oh, I mean, kind of.
Yo, hey, I'm
Like
turning
if
into
you
a
told
gin.
me like, hey, look, if you press this button, like the entire world just explodes. Like I'm pressing the button. I want to see what happens. You know, like yeah, maybe 7 billion
Okay,
people
that's
died.
like
but
a
like,
terrible
you can't,
comparative.
You can't just
That's
like, put
just
the
a
button
terrible
there.
comparative.
You can't just put
You're
the button
ones
there.
who you were like, okay. Also, Pernay's included in this. Don't think you're just like a side party member of this one, Pernay. You're like, let's just do it, Jit. Let's get the thing, Jit. And I was like, yeah, let's just do it. You know, I was like, look, we just had this huge dinner. It's really big, guys. And you guys were like, no, we got this.
Look,
She
Viswa,
brings it,
look.
and then we're all collectively like, the fuck.
Hey,
I'm
we
just gonna
paid
say
for it.
I've never
Yeah,
before had to throw up and have my vomit taste like sugar.
And then
Yeah,
you came back
Noah
and ate
was
some more.
taking trips like every like 5 minutes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Renee and I were doing laps around there, and like I was taking like interval trips to the bathroom as well. Man, it was not a pretty sight. But
wait, no,
we
no,
finished
no.
it.
You know what we're missing here? We're missing context because you know whose real fault this is? Jacob's.
It's Jacob.
Jacob
It's actually
told us.
fine.
It's
Yeah,
actually
Jacob
fine.
told us he would
Yeah.
show up to fucking BJ's, and then he didn't, and we're all just there like, what the fuck? Like, where's Cobb? And then we order this thing, and I'm telling you right now, if we had Cobb there, easy. Like easy, we're increasing
Yeah,
our
If
like
we had
amount
one
of
person,
like
yeah,
mouth
not
and
even
stomach
challenged.
capacity by like what 25%? Like, come on.
Nah, more than that. I'm a bit of a
Oh,
monster.
exactly. Just, like,
What the-
I'm a problem.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a problem, guys.
like I'm just saying, like if Cobb was there, like we would not have this story. Like our story would be a glorious victory over this gigantic ass Patsuki, but no, because Cobb didn't show up there
Hey,
for
I
us.
just wanted you to go through the struggle because you still came out on top. You still conquered
That's
the
not.
challenge.
That's not
You
how
go
that
back
works.
to your job.
That's not how that. You bailed on us, Cobb, and because of that, I went through like 3 years of suffering mentally.
That night was a little like traumatic. Noah, when we got to the parking lot, Noah just started
Actually remember.
running.
He
He just started running, bro. I
Oh
was
my God,
like,
I
what?
remember too.
No,
I remember too. Afterwards, Jit and Noah were just like, "Hey, we need to actually exercise or something." And then I was leaving. I was leaving somewhere, so I couldn't go. But the next day, they went. Went to Russell Creek or something. I don't know. Do you guys want to walk or run or something like that?
yeah, something,
Something
like,
like
that. I don't
that.
know. But man, Noah, like, he's just sprinting in the parking lot, trying to like burn off the sugar. I guess we're like, look, you just ate. Like, this is not a wise decision. Noah gets in the car. He's like, yeah, I pulled like everything. I'm just like, oh my
I
days.
pulled everything.
And then I was looking at my phone, and then I was just like, we're all just gonna get diabetes. Like, I
remember.
I
Jit
don't
was
see this ending
researching
out of
what
the
would
way.
happen.
No, the
Like,
funny thing
we're
to
all
me was
just gonna
apparently
get
this one
diabetes.
didn't know about like type 2 diabetes.
Look, bro, I thought it was a bit more like nuanced. Apparently, it's not like you just eat so much sugar that it's just like, hey, like, what the fuck is up? I'm type 2, bitch. Like, I thought there's more to it.
I mean, all I'm
Is there more to it, Cobb? Tell me this. How does this happen?
There's two types, right? And the first type is like insulin can't be detected properly by the receptor. The second type is like there's a problem with the cell like chain reaction that happens after the insulin's been detected, right? So like if you eat too much sugar, your receptors become desensitized to it, and so you don't produce enough insulin, and that's a problem because then there's a huge amount of sugar in you.
So,
and you're not breaking it down
how
properly.
much sugar would you have to consume like consistently in order for your receptors to just?
Depends on your BMI and genetics.
I see.
So
I was panicking,
What if
man.
you're
tell me,
sized?
Visla, do your cells?
Yeah, what
right now-
if you're me sized?
Probably a Pazuki's worth.
Ow.
Tell me, so do your cells feel
Good knowing you,
desensitized? Do they feel apathetic? Do you have
Nah.
Gen Z cells?
Bruh. Look, I just had some good bread. I got this bread, and I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
because that was too much sugar for lunch. I didn't finish the Coke. though.
Wait. So
I will
you
say,
had a
What?
Coke, a
Wait,
donut.
Jit.
yeah. What's up, Cobb?
Yeah, for everybody out there, just like
Oh,
tell
okay.
us what you had
Here's
for
what
lunch.
I have for lunch, everybody. Okay, at my university, there's a whole event going on. They're giving a bunch of free food. Who am I to say no as a college student? I'm taking all the free food they're giving me. Who am I to? Who am I? But first place, they gave us like these powdered funnel cake type beignets that were in like these balls, and it was just amazing. They gave us like a bag of them. It was just fucking amazing. And we go to this other place. They're just like, here, do you want a donut? I'm like, yes, I will take a glazed donut. Thank you very much. And then after I got the donut, they gave us some Oreos. So I had 2 Oreos.
Oh,
And
Oreos too. I didn't even know there was that.
Yeah, and then they also had soda, so I took a Coke. And then I got back to my apartment. I just ate all of those things. So I had all those beignet powdered balls, the donut, 2 Oreos, and I drank like a quarter of the Coke. Like I didn't drink the entire Coke.
Like Coke is like full of sugar. I don't know.
That's true.
Like even a quarter
That's
is
true.
probably still a lot.
There's probably more sugar in the donut than the Coke, though.
Let me
Really?
see. Like Coke.
There's definitely more sugar with the beignet things. They didn't have powdered sugar on top of them.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, like the thing is, like the powdered sugar is like not concentrated.
Yeah. Point is, Jit had a lot of sugar for lunch.
And yesterday, I had a horchata donut, which was
What
just,
is that?
it was amazing.
What the hell?
It was
What
so
is
worth
that?
it. Do you know what horchata is? Horchata is
sure.
like this kind of,
Sounds
I think
very
it's like
familiar.
it's like a Mexican drink. It's kind of like, it's not really coffee, but I don't know how to explain this.
Horchata.
Just
Okay, I see. It's just a drink. It seems like a drink.
it's like
Yeah.
a rice drink that's in Mexico.
Yeah.
And this place, there's a food truck yesterday. They're giving out free donuts. I had a horchata donut. I've never had one of these before. It looked so beautiful. Maybe we'll put a pic on the Instagram because this donut literally looked like just amazing. And it tasted amazing too. So I've had quite a bit of sugar and then there are also these cookies from Walmart. They're like $5. Yeah. These cookies are just really like they have crack cocaine in them or something.
I mean, that's kind of what sugar is.
Yeah, so I have really fucked up, guys. I really fucked up. That's the TLDR.
Yeah. You gotta get the
I don't know what
Beatles.
I'm gonna do. It's not gonna happen. I've given some thought. Okay. Actually, we'll get to this later. We'll go back to Valentine's Day things now. Renee, are you gonna get her any chocolate? I recommend
no,
against it.
I am not.
It has too much sugar.
So what are you going to do, PJ?
Yeah, so I mean on Monday itself we're not really doing anything interesting. Tomorrow we're doing stuff. In terms of gifts, we decided on not like buying anything, rather anything, like a gift, rather we decided on like making something. So
Okay,
that is
I'm just
why-
going to stop you right there. You can't just say Monday's Valentine's Day, tomorrow we're doing some stuff, and just
Yeah,
brush
I know.
over
I'm
that.
going to talk about.
Okay,
it. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. So I am making. So I've got this like little vase thing, and I'm basically making like origami flowers. And do you remember those? You know what pipe cleaners are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's these. I forgot the name, but once I got to the art store, I remembered it. But they're very interesting. So I'm using them as stems, and I'm just like pasting it on, and then I'm just going to make. So
Man.
far, I have one that's legitimate.
I
I've
haven't
had
done that
3
shit
mess
since like
ups.
elementary school.
Yeah, it is quite fun, I will say. But I tried making something origami. You know what? Maybe we'll post this on Instagram too. I'm taking a picture right now of memory comp, so I'll post early. But
Okay.
I tried making it with an actual piece of computer paper, and bro, this paper is just so fucking thick. You can't do. I realized why it's so difficult to do stuff with computer paper. So I've bought origami paper since, and so that is the gift that I am making. terms of tomorrow, we're just going for lunch, and then we're probably going to work in some coffee shop later on. So
How
there's
romantic.
nothing like too like extravagant or anything. I don't know what other people do, but yes.
Nice.
Nice.
Rest of us are here, just like, good job. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Are you winning, son?
Noah,
What?
I'm a bit curious as to the history of Valentine.
Oh god.
That's what we
Is it time for history with
It's-
Noah?
I think it is,
Oh
everyone.
my
Cue the
God.
music.
Why?
That's
Like,
what the
okay,
music sounds like.
you just like before the start of the episode, you're just like, hey,
Doesn't
like
matter.
we're gonna ask you about the history of this random ass
care.
date. Like, who the fuck cares, man?
Noah.
Noah. You guys expect me to know literally everything there is to know about medicine?
It's because you're gonna become a doctor. You're gonna go like do the doctor things. Tell people that like they have 6 months left to live. Like you're gonna do that as your job. Like I didn't take the
Will you tell them
HCAT.
that, Cobb?
Yeah, I'll let you know a little secret though. Specialists, they don't know anything else. Like they know their speciality and like
All right,
that's
fine.
about
What are you
it.
What
So
are
I
you
expect you to know
specializing in,
everything
Cobb?
there
What are
is
you
about history.
specializing in?
You only have to make that decision after med school.
Oh, how
so.
convenient for you.
And before then, you have to know everything there is about everything.
Yeah, you're not a specialist yet,
Okay, well
Cobb.
then, I expect Noah to know literally all of
Dude,
history
I'm not
since the
even.
beginning of
I'm
time.
not even a history major. Okay.
Noah, who was the first? Like,
Who was the
person?
first? Yeah,
who was
just
the first? Yeah, who's the first?
What?
Actually? Who was the first?
The first what?
Just
In history.
The first person?
No, just the first. Like, who was it?
I guess like some like dude named Ooga Booga in like the heart of Africa. I don't know. Like
I remember this from school. Ooga Booga the first.
Yeah,
Yes. Do you not remember
are you
this,
talking about the
PJ?
first Valentine?
No, just kidding.
Alright, fine.
It's Valentine's Day.
It's just silent.
So the first recorded Valentine was in a letter written by Geoffrey of Chaucer, who was writing in to commemorate the engagement of King Richard II and his wife, whose name I forget. But
But why is it always like rich English kings?
no, his name
That
is
set up
Richard.
these
Well, I
dates?
mean, he was wealthy, but that's just because he was a king, not because his name was Richard. But I mean, okay, so like the thing I find interesting about that is like they're both 15 at the time and they're already engaged to be married. You guys ever think about how like wild that is? That like really, if you were born like any time before the last like 100 years, 150 years, like you're more than likely going to be like stuck into an arranged marriage and not going to have a whole lot of say into it.
Wait, but isn't like Romeo and Juliet? Weren't they like 15 and 16
Yeah,
or
like that's so
something?
weird, man. Like when I was like
Yeah.
15 or 16, like dude, I was just playing Overwatch. Like
But also like you're gonna die by the time you get to 35. So
it's a bit of misconception. I mean, like most people, like the thing about like medieval mortality rates was like you're probably gonna die before you're like 6, but if you make it past that, like the longer you live, the more chance you have of like making it till old age. So
what was like the average age?
I mean, like the average is like the thing is like the average is like 40, but like that's not like when most. It's not like you make it to 40 and you just like keel over and die, right? It's just because a lot of people die young, a lot of people die old, so it averages out to the middle.
Okay, so like ignoring those people who die young, like if you know.
I mean, like if you make
would you
it to
expect?
old age, you're probably gonna make it out of like 60, 70. Like it's just like if you make it out of early game, then you can expect a pretty good mid game. But
yeah.
if you die early, then it's like it's done. It's over. FF.
Everyone's just a kale.
The infant mortality stuff has gotten a lot better, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
The
yeah.
average
I mean-
age is like
I mean,
70
that's-
years.
Wait, did
most
they
of the
use
reason.
infant deaths in the calculate like average life expectancy?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, they do. That's why it's like some people think it's a
It's the
problem.
I
average.
see.
Because it,
so
like,
they just
skews
like have
data.
a bunch of zeros.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
not
Interesting.
0, but like 0.1 years, I guess.
I see.
I mean, it's not as much of an issue now, though, because like most babies live, generally speaking.
I mean, it's an issue. I remember doing like healthcare econ, and it's an issue in like poor countries where it's like they don't have healthcare, so it skews all the data.
I mean, that's why people think that like medieval people died at 30. Like people weren't dying at 30. It's just the way the data is skewed. But,
interesting. See, that is something I learned today.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. But seriously though, like you guys ever wonder like what it would be like to like be like engaged to be married at like 15?
I can't even imagine.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like there's no Tinder, no dating, like no high school crushes or whatever. It's just like you get to like 15, your parents are like, yo, you're marrying like this other girl in the village. You're like,
What's up, Babette?
What's up, girl?
Ratio.
Oh my god.
Got him.
I remember the story that my great grandmother was engaged to be married at like 14, and then she just didn't see the guy until she was 24.
That sounds about right.
Wait, when did she marry?
Yeah. This must have been like turn of the century.
I mean, like, what age did she marry? Like at 24?
She was technically married at 14.
Oh shit. Okay. Wait, what?
But, like, they didn't live together until like she was like 24.
Shit.
Like it was just like they got married, went back, lived their separate lives for another decade, and then came together.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Did they write letters or stuff to each other?
Maybe he read some King Richard. I don't know.
Gang.
Yep.
Cobb, am I gonna get diabetes, Cobb?
Oh my god.
I don't think so. Jedi, you are a strong boy.
Okay, I just want to add this. I just want to add this at the end there, just before we move on from history, just because this is like an actual interesting history thing I just remembered. And it's the fact that catfishing existed in like the 1500s. Because there was an incident where Henry VIII, like the guy who kept murdering his wives.
Oh yeah.
He was looking for another wife, right? And one of his advisors was like, "Yo, you should like marry this like princess from like the Netherlands." Like, and he's like, "Is she hot?" And he's like, yeah, she's totally hot." He's like, "Okay, I want to see like a picture of her." So he sends over like this artist to like the Netherlands to like take a portrait of her, and like the advisor like just make her look super hot. So like the king will agree to the marriage. So the artist comes back with the portrait, and the king's like, "Yo, I want to hit that," and the advisor's like, "Yes." But then the marriage happens. Like this princess comes from the Netherlands, and like the king and King Henry's like, "Yo, what the fuck? She looks nothing like the picture." And then they got divorced.
That is interesting. Could you look at a painting and be like, "That's hot"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
What?
I just feel like it's just like an artistic, it's just like art, and I'm like, when I look at art, I don't just like.
That's because you're thinking of like
DMA
Renaissance era paintings. Like, yeah, you're not looking at like that when you're like, damn, like she a baddie. But like someone like painted like a baddie, like you're still like, that's a baddie.
Yeah, maybe I just have not seen these paintings that King Richard was looking at.
Yes, you have, PJ. What about the splash art for like Coven Eve?
Okay, I'm thinking about like 15th century paintings.
Yeah,
I'm not thinking about Coven Eve.
But if someone painted Coven Eve, would you be like, what's your reaction?
So yeah, we can move on.
God, am I gonna get to... Okay.
Anyway, PJ, we used to play D&D. We talked about it on the 4th episode of this podcast.
The 4th episode, jeez.
Is that like
you remember that
OG edition, like classic edition, or which?
No. This was the 4th of the reboot.
The new edition. Make sure to check out our classic edition too if you want to.
Because the title has D&D in it, right?
Listen to some lower quality STO content.
Back when we did all those songs, God.
All the songs. Yeah. Check out the songs.
Yeah, the songs
don't check out the songs.
They were an experience.
Honestly, I enjoyed the songs.
Okay.
I wanted them to kind of stay.
From day one.
But like it took us like an hour to figure out what the songs were.
Yeah, but it differentiated us in a good way.
Okay, but you're telling me,
at least in an entertaining way.
You're telling me you had a good time trying to figure out a fucking rhyme at like 1 a.m. Like,
okay, No.
Okay. We have had this conversation
I'm
many
just saying.
times.
I'm
Let's
just
just move
saying.
on. Let's just move on.
You know what? Here's what we're
Okay.
gonna do. To you, as the listener of this podcast, we are going to be so upfront with you. We're not even going to try and do transitions. We're just going to tell you the list of the order we have topics in, and we're just going to go. All right? Next thing we're supposed to talk about, it says PJ, D&D. Renee, tell us about it.
I have started a new D&D campaign.
Rip.
It is interesting because at first, when you're making your character and everything, I was thinking about someone very similar to my old character in our D&D campaign. You remember Ozymandias, the tiefling paladin?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I got a certain burst of inspiration and I decided to change to Monke the monk, and spell Monke with the accent aigu in French.
What the fuck?
An accent.
His accent. That's the name of the accent in French.
Okay.
Like that's what it's called. And I never realized the world of monks and D&D is actually kind of sick. Once they hit level 7, they can, I think it's level 7 or level 9. They can literally walk on surfaces and walk on walls. They can walk on water. They just literally become, I mean, you guys probably don't know Naruto stuff, but they become Naruto. And my character is basically like the way I've built him. There's a lot of meme stuff going on because his backstory is basically he used to be a big, like a tiefling, like a tiefling person who messed around in the human world, and he would get into a lot of crime and stuff. And then he met Master Uguay, who is of the species Harambe.
Oh my god.
And then Uguay he was the last Harambe too, so he's an endangered species. And Uguay the last Harambe led Monkey onto the good path. And after that, but sadly, there's someone named Queen. She's a queen. Queen Cincinnati killed Uguay.
Jesus Christ.
And so now Monkey is basically on a big. He's going on a journey to. His monk like ways is the way of the fist. So he has a journey where he tries to he tries to get people in to join the way of the fist, and he's also trying to battle because Uguay would not want him to get revenge, but he also wants to get revenge on Queen Cincinnati, and so he's having a good time. He's pretty interesting guy. I will tell you though, monks level 1. Something also interesting about monks in D&D is apparently they regularly hang themselves to train their necks, so that.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's actually kind of funny too.
I love Noah's reaction.
Well, I am very happy with this character now. We've been in a battle and I almost died twice. Basically, it's because we have one tank. We have 2 wizards who basically, like 2 spellcasters basically. But the spellcasters, they always use up their slots in the very beginning, their spell slots in the very beginning of the journey. So when we're actually fighting shit, they can't do anything except for like medicine checks whenever we're dying. So it's quite interesting. But I think I'm the only one who's like actually played. There's some other people who've played a game D&D before, other than the Dungeon Master. But out of that group, I'm probably the one with the most experience in a campaign, which is.
I love how every time we ask PJ, "Oh, you want to leave? You want to do this? You want to do it?" No, I'm way too busy. But then they're like D&D, and I'm more
Monkey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what you gotta do with your character, Panay. You gotta start a cult. You gotta call it like the Dicks Out. And then in the final battle, you will assemble your cult of followers, your army, and you will yell Dicks Out for Harambe, and it will be glorious.
You must do this, PJ. You must.
I will. Do not worry.
Okay, but like speaking of Harambe, you guys think the Cincinnati Bengals are gonna win it for Harambe tomorrow?
True Super Bowl.
Probably.
Shit, that is
rolling
tomorrow.
up.
They're
That
pretty
shit
good.
is tomorrow.
Yeah, Noah got it. That's like, hey,
Yeah.
listeners, this is not even on the topic list. Noah's
Yeah,
just
Noah's
coming
just
out
going with the
of
flow.
left field, going hard because we all forgot. I completely forgot.
I mean, like
I
I
knew.
forgot too until Brene brought up Harambe. I was like, oh yeah, like they're gonna win it for Harambe.
That is actually
Damn.
how that I got reminded of Harambe because someone had told me that the Bengals are saying, "Yo, we're gonna win it for Harambe," and
I mean, do you guys think they're
The
gonna win it for
Bengals.
Harambe?
I don't know, but I want the Bengals to win it.
Yeah, I mean the Bengals are pretty solid.
Bro, everyone was just like
Yeah.
in the Bengals game. They're just like, yeah, Bengals are gonna lose. They're not good. They're not gonna get to the Super Bowl. And I had faith. I had faith, and then they did it. Otherwise, I honestly, everyone thought it was just gonna be 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl, but I was just like,
Yeah.
that was the Super Bowl I think 2 years ago, and I was like, why? Get some new blood in here, some fresh blood.
Yeah, it's Rams versus Bengals.
Yeah, Los Angeles Rams, no longer St. Louis. That was a long time ago, but.
Well,
Actually, did you know they were originally the LA Rams, and then they went to St. Louis, and then they went back to LA?
Yeah. I remember them being the LA Rams, and then
Yeah,
wasn't that kind of the same thing? Didn't that happen with the Raiders too? Like they were Las Vegas and then Oakland and
Yeah,
then Las
something like
Vegas again
that.
or something.
it's just very weird what these teams decide to do. I don't know. I'm excited mostly because the Bengals are going to do it for Harambe. But
do you have a TV at your place, Chip?
yes, I do.
are you gonna watch the
Do
Super Bowl?
Do you
Very
guys
nice.
not?
I do not know. We do not.
I mean, we all know Cobb has a TV.
I just yeah, Cobb has like fucking
Is-
7
Yeah.
TVs. I wouldn't
If
even
there's
be
any
surprised.
place to watch the Super Bowl, it's Cobb's apartment, guys.
Yeah,
He has like a bar, some bar stools. He's got the biggest living room. It's literally the size of Africa. Like it's
I wouldn't be
it's
surprised
crazy.
if he had Africa in there.
Like it's crazy
yeah,
to
if
me
he was just storing it in like
that out of
The
all
cupboard?
of us, Cobb takes up the smallest amount of space, and yet he has the largest pad.
Cobb.
It's the size of my wallet that is so
Oh my
huge.
God.
He actually has to put it in his backpack. That's why his backpack's so heavy. Is because his wallet's in there, and that's like 98% of
Right.
the way. Cobb, how many girls do you think you can fit inside of your apartment?
Jesus Christ.
But if I could fit people like standing shoulder to shoulder in here,
Yeah,
we could fit probably 100.
more than
Wait,
100.
100?
That's
What
not that
the
many.
fuck?
I mean,
Yeah, but
maybe
it's
more,
a fucking
yeah.
studio apartment. Jeff.
I mean, like
what?
yeah, but like just thinking
But,
about
like,
in terms
100
of
pe-
density,
nah.
like if you're
They're all packed together like sardines, Brene.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
I see.
if they're packed together like sardines,
like you're
maybe-
trying to
Like,
make
you can
Yeah,
fit
maybe
100 in
100.
your apartment, Brene. Easily.
Oh yeah, we can. Yeah, but it's not even an apartment. This is a house.
Or your house.
Yeah.
to be like comfortable and like the number of people you could like have over probably like 6 or 7. Because no one's gonna be sitting in the bedroom or the bathroom.
I mean,
I hope maybe not sitting in the bedroom, but
Hey.
you know, Cobb's got a doctorate
First,
in
I need my
love.
bed.
I was like, I would like to sleep. I have a cool Marvel poster. Fuck off. All right, next on our list, transparency, guys. African folk song, Alex Boye.
He's actual Africa.
Yeah, so this is mine. So yeah, I listened to Spotify, doing some work and stuff, and then these Alex Boye songs came on. Like, there's a song called Lemonade. There's a song called Warrior Song. I was like, this is PJ. This is literally PJ.
Okay.
These songs are like
let
a
me
mixture.
let me do a little listen.
Yeah. Okay. Look up. I think you'll like Lemonade. Look up Lemonade. It's like a mixture of like East and West. Like he takes like African folk songs and like there's a Western spin on it. I don't really know how best to describe it. It's not like purely folk traditional. It's not like purely new wave. Like
Wait, what'd you
hip-hop.
call Africa East?
Like a
I
mixture.
mean, it's like on the same line of longitude as like Europe, right?
Whatever. Like also there's like a skew of like the earth, right? So it's pretty Africa's like the biggest continent
No,
in the
it's
right?
Asia.
I mean,
It's Asia by a long shot.
Or Asia, but
Africa's second
besides
largest.
Asia.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty big.
yeah,
Yeah.
Africa's like much bigger
about
than like, it
Antarctica?
appears on the map.
The way he says,
Africa,
wait,
I know Africa's like huge over like than what it appears on the map. I know that for a
the way he
fact.
says lemonade, though, I will say is quite satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
He also did
also-
Peponi. for
Yeah.
anyone.
He did. I think that's what like got him his big break was that. He also did Let It Go with like a children's choir from like an African children's choir. That got like that was huge.
I'm sure. I mean, Let It Go used to be like a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, but I just thought I just needed PJ to know that this exists because I think he would enjoy it. I've seen the way he's crazed over the Luca soundtrack. Like I think he will enjoy this.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Noah, I believe you have a question for Cobb.
Oh, yeah.
It's the next thing on our list, guys.
I feel like we could have
Transparency.
ordered this list better. Like,
You know what? We were doing that, but you didn't feel like contributing.
me?
Yeah, you.
What the fuck? I wrote like... Let's see, how many items do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, the ad doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Spoiler
6.
alert.
So, shut the fuck up. I wrote like a third of these.
All right, but like, if we want to compile all the episodes ever
Okay,
with all the
but
topics,
like, that's completely
and
irrelevant.
you know what we should
That's
examine? What should we
completely
examine,
irrelevant.
Pranay? What should we
That's
examine when we're
completely
looking at
irrelevant.
the number of things
There's
Noah's written
one
to the
metric.
total
Okay,
number
okay,
of
but
them?
like,
Rick,
riddle
we
me
call
this,
this a
motherfucker. Are you
ratio.
asking about
Is that what we're gonna
Are
examine?
we
Pranay?
talking about an order of all
Ratio.
the Oh my
Ratio.
god, shut the fuck up. You are so annoying sometimes. Jeez, I hope you get diabetes, you fucker.
I believe you have a question for Cobb.
I did. I don't feel like asking
You
it
still
now.
do. All right.
I don't feel like
Cobb.
asking. I don't feel like recording it here if I'm going to be in such a toxic working environment.
No, you've just been playing too much League.
Shut up. Shut up. You would not even know about. You play so much League, Viswa. Don't even about that.
Yes, but it's been uninstalled now.
Yeah,
Guys,
for
we're
like,
moving
for
suddenly.
a
We're
day.
jumping
Okay,
to
okay.
topic number 8, guys.
Okay, but like, anyways, all right, Cobb. Tell me,
Yeah.
since you are a medical professional,
Of course.
in the Viagra commercials, they always tell you like after like if your erection doesn't go down after like 8 hours, contact your doctor, right? What the fuck is your doctor supposed to do about that?
So there's like, are you asking what the problem is or what the solution
I
is?
guess both.
So the problem is, the way an erection is actually like created and maintained is like you stop the blood flow, right? The cells there fill up with blood, and then you stop the blood flow going back,
I
right?
did
Okay.
not know that.
That's well, now you know.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. And by the way, it's 4
4
hours,
hours, okay,
not
yeah.
8. But yeah. So what does blood do? Blood carries oxygen to your cells.
Oh shit.
So if you
Dick just
stop that
dies.
blood flow for too long, you don't have oxygen going there. And so there's one of two cases that can happen. One is ischemic priapism, and the other is non-ischemic. Priapism is like the medical term for an erection that lasts too
That
long.
sounds bad.
Pretty much. Right. So ischemic means that ischemic's the really, really bad one because it means that blood oxygen is not getting to the penile tissue, which means the cells literally start
Oh, no.
dying. It becomes necrotic,
Okay.
and like there's a chance that you just have to amputate it because you can't let
Oh
it spread.
god.
Like, that's if it gets really, really bad. And then it's going to be super, super painful because your cells are literally dying, right? They're literally starving. They're not getting oxygen, right? Non-ischemic is like, yeah, there's a problem with blood flow, but the cells are still getting oxygen somehow and it's not dying. So there's different treatments for those two. Non-ischemic is not that bad. Usually there's some different medications you can take and you can just like put an ice pack on it and the doctor will monitor it. And hopefully it'll go down. Ischemic, there are medications, but the one that you really want, like, if it's an emergency, they're going to do an aspiration decompression.
What does
And
that mean?
what that
Actually
means-
jacking you off? I mean,
No, that's not the problem.
Okay. I don't know, man.
The problem is the blood, right? So what they do is they literally take a needle and they'll draw blood
Oh,
from the
no.
penis to make sure that
Oh, shit.
like blood starts flowing again.
God, why does everything medical have to
And-
sound
and,
so
like-
bad?
That sometimes you'll have to do that process multiple times until like the erection ends.
Okay, note to self: never take Viagra. I would rather have the ED.
You know what?
I'd rather have the ED.
You know what? This can also be caused by antidepressants.
Oh, fuck you.
So, yeah.
Wait, Cop.
What?
Has this happened to anyone who just like normally hasn't happened?
No, this is like the brain and nervous system have checkbacks in place to avoid this from happening. When you take Viagra or antidepressants or drugs that mess with your blood flow, you're trying to override what the brain is trying to do. So
I see.
it's only when you because in the brain's eyes, right? Like the worst thing that can happen is you can't have an erection, you can't reproduce. At least you're alive, right? So you're trying to override that with medication. So
do you guys think if you put on a poll, would you rather be able to get hard or would you rather be dead? I mean, or would you rather be alive? How what percentage of people do you think would choose option A?
There's probably a significant portion.
Yeah.
Well, significant says more than we would assume.
I'm thinking maybe 20%.
Probably yeah.
I mean, obviously we're just talking about males, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid ratio.
Oh my! Don't bring up that word. Don't bring up that word in my presence.
No, it's actually gonna break. Oh no!
I hate this.
So yeah.
Oh no! Hang on.
I mean, it's a huge problem if because worst thing that can happen, you have to amputate it, and that's not good because then more importantly, you have problems with urination then.
Oh yeah,
Yikes.
you just can't pee.
Yeah.
What happens if you can't pee? In general.
If something's blocked and you can't do it, some people have a tube that goes directly into their bladder to a bag that's outside of their body, and they have to change the tube and bag.
I see.
I don't know. Every so often.
What happens to you? This physically though.
What do you mean? The bladder still fills up.
Does it?
If the problem is expelling urine, right?
Yeah.
That means the bladder is still filling with urine.
Yeah, but I'm saying does anything does it explode if you don't empty it?
If you don't empty it for so long, yeah, it'll explode.
I remember the astronomer Tycho Brahe allegedly
No one
died.
told me this in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I've actually been traumatized. I actually piss pretty frequently now because of this.
So apparently he died because he was at a royal party, and apparently at that point you couldn't leave without telling the king that you were gonna leave or getting permission to leave. And for some reason or another, he couldn't get permission, so he just sat there and held it for so long that his bladder exploded and he fucking died.
Jesus Christ! No, I'm scared now too.
Yeah. I mean, it was the guy was a legitimate celebrity at the time too. It would be Neil deGrasse Tyson being at the presidential gala or whatever, and his bladder exploding. He died on the red carpet floor.
Does it break the skin if it explodes, Cop?
No, it's just gonna leak urine into cells and blood in places it's not supposed to go.
Nah, you just fucking detonate it's a suicide bomb.
Yeah, that's something that you should try and avoid. PJ will have no problems with that. I know.
What?
Because PJ is constantly in the bathroom.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's next on our list?
Number 6. What the fuck is the metaverse, anyways?
Thank you. This one. So, guys,
look, I just wanted to do a full thing of transparency. That was what I had originally said before we started recording.
Okay, that's a lie. You just don't want to come up with the segues.
Yeah, but it's a nice change of pace. We've been trying to do segues for the past 29 episodes.
Which, by the way, you should check out every single one of them. So Noah, can you please explain to me the metaverse?
Dude, I wrote the question, what the fuck is the metaverse?
Well, I don't know what it is either. Do you have any idea what it is?
All right. Hello. Hello. I study computer science.
You are the tech.
So, this is technology with me. this is sort of Facebook's new thingy that is that's happening. And, so Facebook has changed their name to Meta, if you're unaware. And it's not entirely around like Facebook or Meta as the company. Maybe it kind of is, but like it's supposed to be basically a 3D virtual world type thing that, some of it's like VR, but basically just a virtual world where we socially interact with each other. And so lots of different like sort of things you could do. Like, gaming is a very common one that we've seen with VR. So you guys, what are some VR games? It's like Beat Saber, all that stuff. That's not metaverse, but like that was the sort of stuff that has now led to Facebook, making itself meta, and then starting to work on like virtual reality tech, right? So there are like some brief sort of, if you look at like ads and stuff that they've developed, kind of like what they want to do, but it hasn't really expanded into anything meaningful yet. So we're kind of just waiting to see where it goes. But
Oh, isn't this like literally the exact plot of Ready Player One?
pretty much, yes.
I mean, like, do you
That
think
is,
anybody
we
will
have to
actually
search for the
want that
golden
though?
egg.
Like,
I don't know, but people are developing it, because there's money.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's money
Facebook,
to be had. People are gonna do it.
Facebook stock like went off a fucking cliff earlier.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go check
Was
up
there
on
anything that happened?
I mean, they just released their earnings. I think it showed like I forget if like they went down in revenue or if they just grew less than people expected. But yeah, I mean, it went from like $330 to like $240 a share, which is crazy. Yeah,
That's insane.
like it tumbled. So I guess like they're just kind of going all in on this metaverse thing to try and like keep themselves relevant. Because obviously, like, people aren't using Facebook. Well, not new people, anyways. It's all old people.
Well, the thing is, the company is relevant because they own Instagram, they own WhatsApp, and those things are very commonly used.
I guess.
So, like, there's no risk of like the company, like, they're not like dying, but they want to be doing better, growing in size, whatever. And so that's why they're basically trying to do all of this.
Isn't Oculus owned by
Yeah.
Facebook too?
Yeah,
I mean,
they
I
own
think that's why
Oculus.
they're trying to like push this whole metaverse thing because they have a stake in it. But I don't know. Like, to me, like, it just doesn't feel like there's any sort of use in it that people would actually want. Like,
a lot of people started the idea, I guess, grew a bit over quarantine because we can't go outside.
yeah,
But people would interact with each other virtually, and so there are different sort of like ideas behind it, but basically just to be able to have that interaction without having the risks of like going outside. I know there were some apps that were like when you join a meeting or something, like you can like randomly like run into people like virtually, and then you can have a conversation with them. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but
that sounds really
cool.
cringe.
It was a concept. It was like developed into a thing, but that my point being is that people wanted a way to interact with each other without like actually.
I think it's
Going to go outside.
hard to digitize human nature. Like that's what it sounds like they're trying to do.
Yeah, we have yet to see how well it actually like does, but
Yeah,
it is what they are trying to do.
I mean, that's basically just VR chat. Yeah, I think the limitation in VR is like it's only really sound and sight. Like without like actually like feeling like you're in a room with somebody. I think there's just like an underlying understanding that you're really just like in this virtual box talking to like a Kermit the Frog avatar. Like it's not the same.
I mean, that's kind of what we're currently in Discord having this conversation.
Yeah, but like I mean, I've met you guys IRL. Like I know what you look like, what it feels like to talk to you. Like if I never met you, I don't know if like I would feel as incentivized to talk to you guys.
I guess part of the appeal is like it's also for social networking because that's what the company is at the end of the day. And so you'll still be like interacting with people It's not meant for you to just like go interact with random people, meet random people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To
I just don't think it's like really
to
needed.
Meta's credit, like Cobb, you're talking about like how it's like human nature. They have manipulated human nature pretty well up until this point. Like with all of Facebook, the whole like system, how you can just endlessly scroll. I feel like I've talked about this, but they model it after casinos. Like they've done a pretty good job. So most companies have like that are the big tech companies.
Manipulating human nature and digitizing are two different things.
Yeah, but it's still like you're basically manipulating humans into thinking like it's the same thing. And I don't know, they may have a good chance at succeeding with it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully that kind of answered the question, but with
Yeah.
that,
Is there like a date where they've like said I want to have this done by this
I'm
date?
sure
or is it just,
internally
like,
there are definitely some like, there's some timeline that's built, but I don't know right now.
okay.
I don't work for Facebook, bro.
You should.
Like, what do you want from me?
Are you
You
sure
should go
about
work
that?
Don't we all work for Facebook? Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun.
With that, number 7 on our list, a brief message from Anchor.
Hey guys, today's sponsor is Anchor. No, not that kind of Anchor. Anchor is a podcast hosting site actually run by Spotify, and it's something that we personally use here at Stating the Obvious. And man, this system is actually insane. You can start your own podcast on the site and do everything from start to finish within the site itself. Recording, editing, publishing, distributing, they take care of everything and they make it so simple and easy to do. They walk you through it every step of the way, and they have tons of unique and creative features like sound effects and a whole music library that is for you to use, and it makes things super easy. The best part of all is it's totally free and you can use it from either your computer or your phone. Honestly, I prefer to use the computer, but the mobile app works generally pretty well for almost everything that you're gonna need. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So if you guys would like to start your own podcast, I would urge you to use Anchor. You can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. I just wanted to say that this is our first sponsor, and it's really, we never thought we'd get this far, honestly. We have over 20 episodes now, and we're still going strong. We have so much fun recording these episodes, and to get a sponsor, it validates it all. So we just want to thank you guys, the listeners, for actually like responding to the podcast, listening to it, enjoying it, and we'll still be making it as long as we are having fun with it. So thank you. And thank you to Anchor for sponsoring today's episode. So let's get back to the episode.
And we're back. What number are we on, guys? Number 8. Jith likes League and sugar very much.
I think we already talked about this.
We've been on the sugar part.
The sugar
League
part
Yeah,
we've
but
been on
the
to.
league part. Okay, so last episode we talked about like literally the greatest game
Yeah.
of all time. Like, there's no way we're gonna top that. And then
It just goes
Jith-
tops it. No, kidding.
Jith had a little bit of a mental breakdown. Jith, would you like to explain?
This game is just utter dog shit. I don't even. Someone told me when I first started playing League. Someone told me like there are these ratios. Forgive me, but like 60% of games or 20% of games you will lose no matter what you do. The other 20% of games you will win no matter what you do. So your team will just carry you. And then the original 20% is like you'll lose no matter how well you perform, even if you're just challenger. But then there's 60% of games where your performance directly decides whether or not you win or lose that game. Like you have the power to determine the outcome of that game. And so I played some ranked games, and like I just don't understand how this is statistically possible for me to just like perform so unbelievably well all these games and it just not matter. Like I don't know how all of these games could be in the 20% of games that I'm just going to lose, because all of my teammates, man, they don't have hands. Like I don't even understand how they log onto their PC. Like they just literally are non-functional human beings. And after losing, I think like 7 ranked games in a row, I have now uninstalled League of Legends.
Tell me, how does it feel to hold this many L's?
You know, it's I've been here before.
We all have.
You know, I didn't uninstall League the last time this happened. Actually, I just kept playing. But like I think I was like on an 8 loss streak or something, maybe 9. Sean and I were once pushing double digits together. But I think this time it just really broke me because I was like really performing. Like I was playing my champions. I was playing Akshan. I was playing Vladimir. And I was doing well. I was, had most damage every game, but like I didn't know what else I needed to do better. And it felt like if I ever made any, like even if I made 1, maybe 2 like bad decisions, like we would lose. And it's so annoying to not, you have to play perfect, like absolutely perfectly, no mistakes at all, ever, in order to win these games. And that doesn't mean just like not dying, right? Like, it's not, because then if you always play passive or like safe to not die because you think that's like the right decision, then you can't carry the game either. Like sometimes as Vlad, you just flash in because you just need to kill all of them. So it just feels, you have to just be inhuman to win in this elo, because I know for a fact I'm stuck in elo hell. There's like pockets of elo hell as you're climbing. The lower tiers are just generally kind of regarded as elo hell, but like in gold, I think like gold 1, gold 2, or not gold 1, gold 2, like gold, I think just gold 2 is kind of elo hell. Really struggling to get out of that because everyone's just high. Plat 3, plat 4, which is where I currently am, also elo hell. D1, D2, like right before Masters, also elo hell. Challenger, honestly, elo hell.
Everything. You know what it sounds like everything. To me? I think you need to stop trying to climb. You should like come down here to like bronze elo and just like see what it's like. Because like honestly, like I haven't had more fun in League than I have playing bronze, because the people here are so bad, but it's in a funny way. Like in gold and plat, like people still suck, but like it's just kind of depressing. But like down here in bronze, like me and Cobb were playing a game earlier where this jungler was just tilted off of his mind that Cobb would dare split push as Yorick. Like Cobb was like pushing top lane. Like he pushed top lane all the way down to the inhib. He pushed bot lane all the way down to the inhib. And the entire time this Trundle was just out of his mind. He was like, what the fuck are you doing? Ping, ping, ping. We need to fucking take the dragon. Ping, ping, ping. Why aren't you team fighting? Ping, ping, ping. Like it was so funny to me. Like I was dying of laughter. And it sounds to me like the problem is you're trying to win. You're trying to do better when really you need to treat this like a reality TV show. Like you're watching like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and just like enjoy the trashiness. Enjoy like the anger and like enjoy the toxicity for what it is.
I honestly do. Like when I play like norms and shit, or like when I'm playing with you guys, the elo, like I don't have to try hard as much. Because like normally my laners are like pretty bad, and I can just play like whoever I want and just like have a good time. You remember when I like played Jace? We just like rolled them.
Oh yeah.
And so like that is when League of Legends is kind of fun, but it's also just like, whatever.
No, see, like you're treating it like a game. It's not a game. It's an interactive TV show.
Live.
it's an interactive TV show, right? Like I'm not the kind of person who gets out that much and gets to meet those people who like fucking like shoot up Walmarts because they aren't able to get a coupon for their like 12-pack of Coke. Like I don't like see those kinds of people, but like I feel like in League I can meet those people. I can meet the people who will like drive after someone on a highway and start yelling shit at them. I feel like I can meet those people in League, and it's entertaining to me because it's like I get the same things out of League that most people get from watching like TLC. Like these are just garbage people, and sometimes that's fun.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with the man.
I agree with this as well. Like I think there's different ways I play League, and a lot of times, like when I just play norms, or like when you're playing with the boys, you're playing with the boys, you're just playing, having a good time, like winning, losing, like it's whatever, right? But when you play like kind of any other, when I play ranked, right, like. It's just, I know I'm better than all of these people.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I just know I'm so much better than my enemy laner, but it doesn't matter.
That's not what you should be focusing on. Like, I don't go to the zoo
focus on
and
the
I'm
journey,
not like I don't
not
go
the
to the
result.
zoo and get tilted because I'm better than all of these chimps. I just like watch the monkeys. I watch the monkeys and like I just
Watch
have
the
a
monkey.
fun time.
Okay,
Like-
this is okay.
Like I don't go to the zoo and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm so much better than these monkeys. Like I just watch them kind of just like throw shit at each other. And I'm like, this is funny.
I mean, true.
I will say this complete side note, but PJ,
Yeah.
in this game that Noah played, they had a Vel'Koz support, and Vel'Koz VFX
Oh,
got
yeah, dude.
updated.
It
And
is.
it
Oh,
looks
so it already
clean.
has. It already has.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it looks so
Looks
much
so
better.
clean.
Like I didn't even like think
Yeah.
it looked bad before, but like oh my god, it looks better now.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a couple of videos and I was like, this is actually quite sick.
Which is crazy to me because like their ranked borders look like trash. Like why can't they just get the VFX designers from the champions and just put them onto like designing the client VFX?
Yeah. Well, on the note of League, we did say that we would update you guys about the next clash. The next clash is next weekend. Jit, is the game going to be reinstalled before next weekend?
I don't know. If I am, it's going to be like conditional, or it's going to be like every death I do 10 push-ups or like 15
No,
push-ups.
man.
or
What
something.
you gotta do is you gotta open up League, you gotta put on some nice classical, get out some popcorn, and watch some monkeys. Just watch the monkeys. Just have fun watching the
Interesting
monkeys.
way of playing League. I've not heard of this before.
I mean, sometimes
Yeah, but it's
sometimes you'll
just
get
like-
pentakills, sometimes you'll get dumped on. But either way, there's gonna be chimps in your game.
I do want to say I always when I play auction now, right? Like I feel like there's two mindsets. There's like you see the enemy, right? Like there's this enemy Zeri. She killed all 4 of my teammates, and it's like quadra kill. And like I think there's two things happening, right? In the Zeri's mind, she's like, I'm going to get the pentakill. And then in my mind, I'm like, I'm going to get the 4-man res. And we both just run at each other. Like it's a fighting game. We just sprint at each other. It's just
I do enjoy when you play auction.
like I don't know what more I can do for my team, man. I bring them back to life, man. Like, what am I supposed to do? I had a Gwen jungle, dude. We were defending base. Okay, she was dead. I go. This Tom Kench killed both of them. He's like backing. I go with my invisibility. I kill him. Gwen's back. We stop them from fucking. So we start fighting them. Trying to stop them from ending the game. She dies again. I kill that person. We bring her back again. Then she goes in and she dies. She died 3 times within the span of like a minute. I'm just like, I do not know what else I can do for this team. I don't. I literally don't.
I mean, like, I think you just need to stop worrying about it, okay?
I mean, true. Like, you're absolutely correct.
But it's Jit. It's Jit. Like,
So the only way for me to stop is just uninstall. Like, there's no other way. I can't just detach myself like that. Like, I'm not as like strong-minded as Noah when it comes to these things.
I'm just
Like, no one knows. Like from our debate rounds, even.
oh
Like,
yeah,
I was like this. So like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're all comfortable with this.
yeah. So it's like the same thing. I can't just detach myself and be like, oh, I'm just gonna like laugh, enjoy, whatever. Like,
like Visma just has a problem with like done people. Like
Yeah.
he meets them and he's like there's some deep-seated desire in him to like end them. Like, he meets a dumb person, he's like, I want to just erase you from reality, and he can't because like there are laws against that, and that makes him upset.
bro, I remember when I went to go take my SAT, there was some other dude like in the line as well, and he was like, bro, I hope I get an 1100 this time. And I was just like,
I want to
what?
kill you.
What?
I want to kill you.
Dude, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I don't even understand what I don't understand. So that's something. Let's move on. Cobb, to answer your question, I don't know if I'm going to reinstall League.
Rip.
It's kind of been a nice like past
Okay.
24 hours with no League, like playing.
Just earlier in the episode, you were talking about how miserable you are from what you ate.
Yeah, I mean like that aside,
Okay.
it's been like chill without League. Like imagine I was just fucked up from eating all this sugar and also playing League.
Maybe the sugar would have empowered you.
I feel like no.
Unless.
No.
Maybe being
Unless-
angry
Sure.
would help burn off the sugar. Ever thought about that?
Oh, bro, that's what I'm saying. Is like, if I have to play perfectly in order to win these games, then like I should incentivize myself. So like, every death or every misplay, like add like 20 push-ups, and then after every game, you just got to do like that many push-ups or that many sit-ups or like that many whatever exercise.
You heard it here, folks. This was coming back to the next episode. Jacked. He's gonna be fucking massive.
That just means I'm gonna int.
Nah, Jit. The way you got to do this is for every death, your teammates get one push-up.
No, dude.
Yeah.
This one's gonna come back with like
I will not have arms,
He'll
bro.
come
I will
back
become
now.
my teammates.
He'll come back like with the body of fucking Arnold, man. Like he'll just be fucking huge.
Dude, I don't even know if it's possible to do that many push-ups. One push-up for every death my teammates have.
I don't know. Tyler one could probably
See,
do
then
that.
if I play Akshan, I'm just accelerating their deaths. Like, I can't even play my champion.
Dude, this is the way of the action. You have to do it.
This is the way.
God damn it, dude.
Yeah, this is the way.
This is the way.
Do you know the way?
Man,
This
that's
is
his
the
old
way.
meme.
Yeah, it's actually, bro. When they say it though, this is the way. I'm just like,
I'm gonna look- how old is that
I
meme?
forgot which time, but one time I just got shivers. I'm talking about the Mandalorian. This is the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Yeah.
Ugandan
They're
They're talking
knuckles.
about like, Ugandan
Not
knuckles.
the knuckles. This is the way. Not that
do you know
one.
the way?
Oh, holy shit. That meme is 4 years old. No,
What, the
Knuckles
Mandalorian one?
No, the knuckles one. I mean, Klopp,
Okay, yeah, I was
said it
about
the
to say,
Mandalorian
yeah.
way, and then I said it the knuckles
Yeah.
way, and then I don't know who else said what way.
Bro, what the fuck? 4 years? That's a presidential term.
Yeah. Yeah.
It actually is indeed. Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. What else is on the list? Full transparency, guys. Number 9. What even is this?
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't think we ever
I
got
mean,
this
do
far.
you want to talk about this?
Canadian Freedom
Yeah.
Convoy.
Yeah,
Alright,
we
fine.
Should it be illegal?
Yeah.
I have no.
Okay, so
Yeah, I don't know.
so to
think
fill in
no
you
one
guys
knows,
and
right?
anyone who doesn't know, so basically there's for the last couple weeks there's been this convoy of truckers in Canada who call themselves like the Freedom Convoy, and it's basically just like a bunch of like truckers who are like angry at COVID restrictions, right? So as a method of protest, they're blocking up like major roads and like a major bridge and just like honking their horns nonstop. And there's been like a lot of debate over whether or not like this counts as like peaceful protest, right? Because like they're not exactly hurting anyone, but like at the same time, if you think about like having just like a massive like 18-wheeler just constantly honking outside of your house like nonstop for like weeks, like I don't know, like I would not be able to function. Well,
Yeah. Noise can be annoying. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, I guess the question is like, do you guys think that should be illegal? Like, should you just like ignore the truckers and maybe they'll go away?
I feel like that's what we do
I
with
mean,
most
like-
problems,
Yeah.
right? We just ignore it until like it
Yeah.
eventually hopefully goes away.
Like COVID.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but like truckers are like, see, the thing is, we don't think about it, but like I read this article that like truckers are like basically what makes society run.
I mean,
Because like, how else are goods supposed to get?
I would
from place
argue.
to
I mean, they are
place?
pretty integral.
I would argue boats are like
Yeah.
a lot more important on that front.
I'm talking about like within the country.
Fair enough. But I mean, it's not like the truckers themselves are like doing. They're not like. There's not some like ineffable part of their personality and their culture that makes society run. Like they drive the trucks, and like yes, it's an important job. Like I'm sure a lot of them like work hard, but it's It's not like we have to like bow down to the trucker gods for keeping our society going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think they're like pretty underpaid for like the stuff they do.
But they actually get paid quite a bit.
No, they get paid pretty well for
Yeah.
I know, but like the stuff like they literally have to take months off
yeah.
to like not see their family
Yeah,
and stuff
I mean,
like that. Like that's like
That is part
Yeah.
of why they get compensated so well, I believe.
Like I also
I mean, it's
feel
also
like
because-
it's also
Yeah,
part of why
maybe.
like the trucker job is probably going to be automated. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
It's just a
as
very
I was
hard
going to
niche.
mention this.
that is
Yeah.
very easily fillable by robots.
yeah.
Yeah. I think Tesla or some company already has been like,
Yeah, whatever happened
know,
to like Tesla's
blueprint-
like
Yeah, that's what
Printing and,
remember
like,
I told
showing-
you. I saw.
Yeah, some
when I
automated
was driving to
trucks.
Pittsburgh. I saw an automated
Oh, you
truck.
did?
yeah.
Yeah.
On those more like well-defined kind of roadways for like shipping and stuff, you can use automated trucks because like they rely sort of on like, you know, streets being not super worn out and not it just being like a road, you know. And a lot of parts that you have to drive through as a truck or like a trucker, it's not always like
As a
nice
truck.
crunch as a truck.
Trucks is driving.
Because I was thinking like you know, as the truck, but no, like you need like clearly defined like street lines and stuff. That's how like the AI operates, right? So without those, like you do need like an actual human to drive it for those routes. But I'm sure like what Pranay saw is kind of like maybe a shorter route or something.
Yeah, it was just chilling too. It was
Yeah,
just going
you
at a
can
very
just-
like actual speed limit pace, and
Yeah, you can just automate it. They won't like. I hate it when trucks kind of like drive like a car. Like they try and like weave and shit,
Yeah.
or like they'll pass you. I'm
yeah,
just
I
like,
hate that too. I just
Wha-
hate it. Dude,
what?
You're a fucking truck. Like,
yeah,
what?
like
Like, get off the fucking road.
Like if you wanted to play this game like a car, you should have driven a car. Like why would you draft like
Yeah.
that if you're gonna play like a
True.
car and you but
that phobia.
okay, but like
Trucks are too big. Like once you're over a certain size, like you can't do the regular
you
shit. Like,
can't,
cars.
like, why are
Like,
you-
you're not allowed to pass
Oh,
me.
okay, but,
like
like,
you're not allowed to do that.
actually though, like I saw a video earlier of like this like super like morbidly obese guy trying to like fight, like try to like throw hands, and like he just ended up falling over and like he couldn't get back up. And I was like, damn. Like on the one hand, like that's kind of sad, but also like why would he try to get like himself into that situation? Like he knows he's structurally unsound. Like he knows he can't do that.
Yeah,
But anyways,
pretty much.
I mean, like, but
I think obesity and like being overweight is like probably the biggest factor I want to say in like most chronic
Oh, yeah,
conditions.
probably.
Diabetes.
I mean, we do have an obesity problem as a country. But
Yeah.
what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I mean, you said that like they need like clearly defined roads, but is that like really necessary? Because like my GPS can tell me like what intersection am I at. Like it'll even tell me like go into the left lane, or like
Yeah,
I mean,
but
I think it's more
it-
along the sense of like keeping track of other shit.
yeah,
like-
it's more nuanced because it's also like it has to see the cars next to it and stuff. Like the GPS is just telling you the path to
Yeah.
take. Even the truck like knows what path to take. Like it's very easy to integrate like just the pathing for take this intersection, go here, whatever. But
Yeah.
I beyond that, like there's a lot of things you also have to account for when it's driving by itself. Like it has to stay properly within that lane specifically, and like your GPS doesn't like it'll tell you like these are the lanes that are there and like take this lane for this, but it has to stay in that lane, not hit merge or into any cars on like the side and stuff. So that's why like it's a bit more nuanced. But
so is this like a problem of like image recognition, like the software?
no, I mean the tech's there. Like for the most part, it's slowly starting to get integrated into society. But like cars that can drive themselves, trucks that can drive themselves, like all the technology is already there. It's already built. Like we have the machine learning engines that are doing it. We have like the visual image recognition software and like the ability, like the sensors to know, there are cars to my left, there are cars to my right. I can merge, I can't merge. But it's just kind of a matter of time, I think, before that job becomes completely automated.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking for cars at least, not necessarily for trucks, but for cars at least. I would still want to like be able to manually take over just
There's
in
always
case.
manual
Oh, yeah.
takeover for
Yeah.
pretty much every vehicle. Like it's you can't if you go sit in the front seat and then start driving it gives you like prio. Lol.
Yeah, that's what what I'm saying is like I don't think it should be 100% fully automated, like no human interaction.
Yeah, but with the trucks, it's like if you're already expending the price of like making someone sit in the truck for
Yeah, I know. That's why I said like maybe not for trucks, but like definitely for cars.
For cars, the thing is, a lot of people want to drive cars. Like, there's a satisfaction in doing it, and like being able to,
Yeah.
you merge where you want to merge, and you go where you want to go. So
Yeah.
I think,
And also, like, to be honest, if you're a good driver, that's a skill.
I mean,
yeah,
I think that's like the biggest problem with like integrating self-driving cars. It's like it's figuring out like how do you divvy up the road between people who just like want to let their car drive for them and people who want to drive themselves. Because I can tell you, like, I do not like driving. If I didn't have to drive, I wouldn't.
yeah. But on the flip side, like, I would
Yeah.
want to drive, even if it would be automated. I still want to be the one driving.
Yeah. So I mean, like,
I think it'll apply to like more sort of like Uber, Lyft, like those kinds of things. Because right now, obviously, it's the way it kind of works is you get certified to be like Uber driver or whatever, and so you get like the sticker and you do all that and you drive people around, and so that's sort of how that works. But I think like what some companies will start doing, and maybe we'll see like new companies that sprout up start doing this, where they just have like a fleet of self-driving cars, and those are kind of just the Ubers, and they just constantly go around town picking people up.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the automation is like good for commercial uses, but like maybe not for like the average like personal use.
Yeah. Perhaps. I think in like the taxi form is where it might be successful. But then you also have to
Which is commercial.
But you have to solve the
But,
issue of like,
yeah.
what if that person just decides to get in the front seat and just drive the car away?
I mean, you could just like not have a driver.
This is mine now.
Like not have a steering wheel.
Yeah,
You don't
and
need
then
a steering wheel.
and then you're like, what if there's an emergency and the person needs to take over?
Yeah.
Like, there's just a lot of sort of like hoops to jump through to be able to be like, yeah, this is like safe and we are not going to be liable for whatever fuck ups happen.
Yeah, I feel like what's going to happen is like a company is just going to come out that doesn't have the answers to those problems, but is like 20% or like 50% of the way there, and they just like force it through anyways because like there's an open market.
Yeah. That's how most things go. But then eventually it all makes it there.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to
To
see.
be honest, that's kind of the exact same thing that happened with the COVID vaccine. Like, they forced it kind
Yeah.
of a bit.
Hey, but here we are.
Yeah. And then it worked out. So,
Yeah. Hopefully we see the same thing with. That's why I'm just like, it's so OP to be in CS, because you're just automating everyone's job. And now they're like, hey, we made this program that will write code. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Well,
But on that note, in 2 days, Valentine's Day. Have a happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Find love. Don't eat sugar.
or don't,
But get some sugar. You know what I mean?
Being alone is completely fine. If you don't feel like you want to be in a relationship, don't feel pressured to be in a relationship.
Be in a relationship with yourself.
Jack off.
Okay. Thank you for that, Noah. Make sure to leave a like on today's episode of Stating the Obvious. Drop a comment down below if you enjoyed Noah's fact at the beginning or anything any of us
Or
have said.
fact at the end.
Have we had any
back at the
comments so
end.
far? Like, has anybody commented on any of our episodes?
Don't worry about it. Make sure to
Don't
follow
worry.
us, to subscribe, hit all of the buttons. We'll love you for it. Have a great Valentine's Day. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.